show you what I'm talking about. Hosea chapter 2, and began reading at verse 14. Hosea 2, and we'll pick it up at verse 14. 2 and 14. 2 and 14. Okay. Go ahead and read.
Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her.
Wait, he told you he's going to bring her into the wilderness. He's going to purge out the rebels, and he's going to make the covenant with them there in the wilderness. So now, here we're dealing with the same time. I'm going to bring her into the wilderness, and I will speak comfortably unto her. Go ahead and read.
And I will give her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Achor from the door of hope.
Go ahead.
And she shall sing there, as in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt.
See what he say? He's going to sing there in the days of her youth, and as in the day when she came up out of the land of Egypt. Because when Israel came out of Egypt, then they rejoiced there for a time, didn't they?
Yep.
You know, Moses and Aaron and Miriam, they sang the song, "Glory to the Lord," what he had done to the Egyptians when he brought us through the Red Sea. Go ahead and read on.
And it shall be at that day, saith the Lord, that thou shalt call me Ishai.
You know what Ishai means? Ishai means husband. He said, in that day, you going to call me husband. In the day that I bring you out of, out of the countries where you've been gathered, take you into the wilderness and make the covenant with you. He said, in that day, you will call me Ishai. Go ahead and read on.
And shall call me no more Baali.
And you ain't going to call me Baali no more. That's what they're calling him now. You know, Baali means some pagan deity. And that is what Israel is dealing with constantly. It's pagan deities. So you ain't going to be dealing with no Baali no more. You're going to be dealing with your husband, the Creator. The Lord of hosts is his name. Go ahead and read on.
For I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth.
You know, all them pagan deities you've been dealing with, I'm going to take away all of that out of your mouth. Because Israel, they've been dealing with a lot of them. You know, they deal with some in this country. And you go in some other countries, they dealing with some different ones. Then you go in another country, and they dealing with some different ones. Now I'm going to take away all of that out of your mouth. Go ahead and read on.
And they shall no more be remembered by their name. And in that day will I make a covenant for them with the beast of the field.
Now he said, I'm even going to make a covenant with the beast of the field in that day. Go to Isaiah chapter 11. It'll tell you about the covenant that he's going to make with the beast of the field. He's going to even make the beast be at peace. You know, talk about how a little child going to be able to lead all these carnivores around. You know, they're going to stick their hand in the hole of an asp, which is some kind of deadly reptile. And it ain't going to harm them. You know, and then you're going to have the lion and the lamb playing together. And we know that don't happen today, do it?
Nope.
So that's what he's talking about in that day. I'm going to even make a covenant with the beasts of the field. Go ahead and read on.
And with the fowls of heaven. And with, he said, and with the creeping things of the ground.
Go ahead.
And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth.
In other words, nation ain't going to learn war against nation no more. He even tell you that in the 11th chapter, second chapter rather, of Isaiah, and also in the 5th chapter of Micah. Go ahead and read on.
And I will make them to lie down safely. And I will betroth thee unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercies.
Now he said, I'm going to betroth you unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in loving kindness and in mercies. Go ahead and read on.
I will even betroth thee unto me in faithfulness, and thou shalt know the Lord.
Now in that time, Israel, you're going to be faithful. Ain't like it was last time when you went and laid with all these other deities. You're going to be faithful unto me this time. Did you finish that 20th verse?
Yes.
Okay, let's go now to Ephesians chapter 2. And we'll begin reading at verse 11. And I'm going to show you God ain't only going to be married to natural Israel, but he's going to be married to the church as well. And that is made up of Israel and all nations. That's what the church is made up of, Israel and all nations. However, they are still called Israel, though. I'm going to show you that. Because God ain't going to have no two wives. He going to have one. He going to be married unto Israel, whether they are natural Israel or whether they are spiritual Israel. Because the church is made up of spiritual Israel. That everybody, you know, understand what I'm saying? Everybody that will turn to the Lord and walk in his way. It don't matter whether you're a natural born Israelite or whether you're a natural born Greek. It does not matter. But now, let's go to Ephesians chapter 2, and we're going to pick it up at verse 11, show you how Paul put this thing, the apostle to the Gentiles. Ephesians chapter 2, and we'll begin reading at verse 11, 2 and 11. Go ahead and read, brother.
Wherefore remember that ye in time past, that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands.
You know, Israel called the Gentiles the uncircumcision, and they would call the circumcision made with hands. In other words, dealing with the fleshly circumcision, circumcised in the flesh. You know, the Bible speaks of two kinds of circumcision: circumcised in the flesh and circumcised in the heart. Everybody got to get circumcised in the heart. I don't care if you male or female, Jew or Gentile. It does not matter. You got to get the circumcision in the heart. Now, males, I don't care if you're a Jew or Gentile, you got to get circumcised in the heart and in the flesh. Don't let nobody tell you nothing different. Don't go and look at that argument that they tried to put up in the 15th chapter of Acts. The covenant said, the Lord said, Abraham and your seed and the stranger as well must be circumcised in the flesh. Otherwise, he has broken the covenant. And if you ain't under that covenant, you ain't getting in. You believe whatever you want to believe. I guarantee you ain't under that covenant. You ain't getting in. Lord even told you I believe it's the 44th chapter of Ezekiel, said a stranger must be circumcised in the flesh and in the heart, otherwise he would not come nigh unto me. Better read what the Lord said. Amen. Start reading at Ephesians chapter 2. Pick it up at the 11th verse again. Go ahead and read.
Wherefore remember that ye being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made by hands, that at that time you were without Christ, being aliens from the commonwealth of Israel.
See what it say? You were aliens from the commonwealth of Israel. Go ahead and read.
And strangers from the covenant of promise, having no hope and without God in the world.
So see what they say here now. Now this is what the apostle to the Gentiles said. He said, you were aliens from the commonwealth of Israel, and you were strangers from the covenants of promise. Go ahead and read on.
But now, in Christ Jesus, ye who sometimes were far off are made nigh by the blood of Christ.
Go ahead.
For he is our peace, who have made both one, and have broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Go ahead.
Having abolished in his flesh the enmity, even the law of commandments contained in ordinances.
Now, what did he abolish in the flesh? He abolished the animal sacrifice law. That's what he abolished. You know, the reason I said that, because some people read this to try and circumvent the law. They're always looking for a way to get around the law. You understand? Anything they can find to run with it, they will run. But Jesus made it very clear, if you are not keeping the commandments, you are not getting in the kingdom. Yep. Now, that's what the master said. And he is the one that's going to ultimately determine whether you're going to get in or not. Now, who you going to ride with?
The master.
You're going to believe the one that's going to determine whether or not you're going to get in, or you going to believe what somebody else tell you. He is the one that's going to determine whether or not you get in. And he said you ain't getting in if you do not keep them commandments. He said they good as long as they're in heaven and earth, and whosoever break one of the least of them